Still not entirely sure why, but some people think that basketball stops. They think it slows down during the off season. But if you ask me, or if you've been keeping up with it, you know that basketball does not slow down. It's been what, 2 weeks since the finals ended, since Game 7 of the NBA Finals, and so far we've had a draft, we've had the start of free agency, we've had a bunch of big trades, and yeah, sure, maybe those aren't basketball games being played, but this past weekend we had the start of the NBA Summer League, and it was games in California, games in Salt Lake City. So the Vegas Summer League hasn't started yet, but two of these smaller Summer League tournaments have already begun. So we've already gotten a look at some of these players that were drafted about 2 weeks ago, less than 2 weeks ago. It's very cool to get an immediate look at some of these players. And yeah, things will actually probably slow down in August and September before training camp opens, but we're getting a little sneak peek. We don't have to wait long to see these players that our favorite teams drafted, especially the ones that we're hoping can help turn our franchises around or play a really big role as rookies to help our teams take the next step. So we've had, I think, just 2 days of games so far. We've had 6 games be played. The plan for me is, when I'm in Vegas for Summer League, is to do a daily recap podcast. Maybe over the weekend, not entirely sure. Maybe stick to the Monday through Friday schedule and do a larger recap on Monday. We'll see. But I want to go ahead and start by recapping the first couple days of Summer League. But before I do that, I want to remind you guys that BetOnline continues to be your number one source for all your sports betting action. With baseball season in full swing and football season around the corner, BetOnline has more ways to stay in on the action with the latest odds, news and scores, and even live in-game betting. From MLB to UFC to tennis and NFL futures, BetOnline remains your choice for sports wagering info. In between the games, you can head over to the BetOnline casino with all the top Vegas-style games, including poker and a live casino. You can head to the website today and take advantage of their industry-leading VIP program with level-up bonuses and weekly cash boosts. BetOnline, the game starts here. Okay, so as I said, there's been 6 games so far. Some of them have had some players that are worth talking about. Some of them have had some players play well that we're probably not going to spend too much time discussing, but maybe just to shout out that they played well in Summer League. So the first game we're going to talk about was the first one that happened on Saturday, was the Heat beating the Spurs. The first round picks in this game that we really wanted to talk about were Carter Bryant and Kasaparas Jakucioinis. Starting with the Spurs, Carter Bryant was okay. 7 fouls. Fouls were an issue for him in college. He was still a really good defender, was able to get some defensive stats in college. Didn't happen in his first Summer League game, but nothing that we're just super, super concerned about in one Summer League game. Was fairly aggressive offensively, but I think right now the main standout is the 7 fouls. Definitely something that he's going to have to clean up if he's going to play a large role in the NBA. Now, the interesting thing about Summer League is that you can't foul out, which is why you also see down here is another player that had 9 fouls. So obviously Carter Bryant would never get the 7 fouls in a game, but it's just supposed to help people or help these players just play through it, learn how to play. So still excited to see what Carter Bryant can do, but I think that is, again, not super concerning, but a little bit interesting that that's what happened. That was an issue for him in college, and it's immediately an issue for him in Summer League. And it's also, well, it was a quote-unquote issue for him in college. He played a smaller role in college, which is something we've discussed. So he wasn't consistently fouling out, but like the per 40-minute foul stats were pretty high. So, and then it immediately translates to a bunch of fouls in his first Summer League game. So still going to be keeping eyes on him. We have another game to talk about that we'll get to here in a second before we draw any major conclusions. But again, it's still Summer League, so we probably won't draw too many major conclusions. Harrison Ingram, second round pick from 2024, only played a little over 12 minutes, didn't do too much scoring, actually shot pretty poorly. He was really good in Summer League as a rookie. wasn't really great in this first game. A couple other players that play well. David Jones-Garcia had 18 points, led the team. And Jameer Nelson Jr., pretty cool. Makes me feel old, and I'm not that old. Had 13 points as well. Dylan Harper didn't play in that game because that was the other. I'm sure if. Okay. My bad if I said those were the only 2 first-round picks that we needed to talk about. I'm sure someone was screaming the whole time, no, you forgot about Dylan Harper. Oops, he didn't play. So Kasaparas Jakucioinis did not play well in his first Summer League game. Just, 1 for 7 shooting, 3 turnovers to just 1 assist. A little bit of a yikes. But, again, just 1 Summer League game. We'll be patient. He did have some issues with turnovers in college. They weren't terrible in this game, but they did stick out a touch, especially because he didn't really contribute much else. But first Summer League game, just getting his feet wet. Hopefully we'll see him play a little better in Vegas. Pelle Larsson led the team with 18 points. He was a rotation piece at times as a rookie last year. Scored 10 of his 18 points at the free throw line. Khalil Ware, I think we expect a player like him to dominate Summer League, be too good for Summer League, and have his games played limited. And I'm assuming that's going to happen eventually. I don't think he'll play too many because he was already a starter for the Heat. Didn't shoot the ball great, but I think what was encouraging was, one, the defensive stats were still there. Great. Didn't expect anything different. Shot 4 threes. I guess we're not necessarily looking for him to shoot 4 threes per game in the NBA, but seeing him being willing to shoot those during Summer League, showing that he's working on that. If he can become an even better floor spacer, that's a good thing. So we'll be keeping our eyes on Khalil Ware as their Summer League continues. All right. Next game we'll talk about, and this one will be a touch quicker, was the Warriors beating the Lakers. Not too much on the Warriors to talk about because their rookies didn't play in that game. But Dalton Connect didn't have a great game. He's another player that he was drafted as an older rookie. Not a great fantasy, category league guy, but a really good shooter specifically and a good scorer. So the fact that he didn't shoot the ball that well is a little bit concerning. We can just chalk it up to just an off night. But he is a player that if he's going to continue playing in Summer League, we want to see him be one of the best players out there. Was a rotation player at times, and honestly for most of his rookie year. So he should be dominating these games. Cole Swider did. He's a Summer League legend at this point. Hit 6 threes, had 24 points. DJ Stewart, 20 points and 6 assists. Darius Baisley trying to make a little comeback to the NBA. Hasn't played since the 23-24 season. Had 3 blocks. Baisley's definitely a guy that when he is getting minutes can be a pretty good fantasy player because he is an athletic guy that can block shots. So we'll see. Hopefully he's able to find himself on a roster. Would be cool for next season. Trey Jemison didn't do too much in his 20 minutes. Didn't even get a shot attempt. We can blame it on the guards, I guess, that he didn't get a shot attempt, but would expect a little bit more from a guy that they had to turn to for legitimate center minutes last season. But now with DeAndre Ayton in town, it wasn't like he was going to be competing for a starting job anyway. With the Warriors, not a ton here. Let's see. They had 4 guys scoring double figures, including Isaiah Mobley. Shout out. Coleman Hawkins played 12 minutes, had 7 points. The Kansas State legend. But yeah, not too many of these guys are going to be having a chance at minutes next season. The 2 guys that the Warriors drafted, Will Richard and Alex Tui, didn't play. But I believe they played in the second game, which was on Sunday. So we'll get a little bit of a look at them with that game. All right. The next game we'll talk about is this Grizzlies Thunder game. And was the Grizzlies winning 92-80. And I think these last two games had a little bit more meat on the bone for us to take a look at. So Memphis won. Jalen Wells, 20 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals, 3 threes, 7 of 7 free throw line. Not a great shooting night, 5-14, but definitely a guy that proved, not that he needed to, but proved that, hey, there's a reason that he started most of his rookie season. There's a reason he was all rookie despite being a second-round pick and was a starter for a playoff team. This is the first time we've seen him since he hurt his wrist and had that hard fall late in the season. Clearly just is very good. Again, that was really in question. But just a player that excited to see continue playing Summer League, assuming that they don't say, oh, okay, like, yeah, you're good. Maybe they want him to get a little bit more run, continue to play with some of these guys. But definitely will be in contention for a starting spot again. I know the team's going to look a little different. Vince Williams Jr. and Gigi Jackson are both healthy. They added Kentavious Caldwell-Pope. I still think that at this point, probably Jalen Wells is a starter. But we'll see exactly what happens. Speaking of Gigi Jackson, he also looked really good. 20 points, a little bit of a better shooting night than Jalen Wells. Also had 3 threes, 3 rebounds. We know what he can do. Professional scorer. Super young still. Believe he doesn't turn 21 until December. Yeah. And he's already just a high-level scorer. He proved it as a rookie. Was injured to start his second year and then was never able to really figure out a spot in the rotation, but professional scorer right here that still has so much time to develop. Really excited to see how he is part of their future or somebody else's future. Maybe they don't keep him around. Cam Spencer also played pretty well. 14 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists, 2 threes, a steal. Not expecting a ton from him next season, but could be like at the end of the bench, will be on the roster. But with them adding Ty Jerome and then still having Scottie Pippen Jr. behind Ja, not too many minutes. Same thing goes for Javon Small, who they drafted. Had 4.6 assists. The assists were nice. Getting to see him be a solid playmaker, because I think that's where you can maybe find a role in the NBA. But probably not going to get much of an opportunity as a rookie to play for Memphis. Maybe he's able to play with the Hustle, so I guess it still would be Memphis, but the G League affiliate for them. And then obviously Cedric Howard still hasn't played yet. And then also Jemai Meshach from Tennessee. They were still working out the official trade with the Warriors for him to be on the team. So I don't know for sure that means he'll be available for tonight's game against Utah, but I would assume that's the case, but we'll see. We'll definitely get a look at him this summer. For the Thunder, we'll start with AJ Mitchell, who also kind of fits that mold that Jalen Wells does of, hey, this guy is probably too good for Summer League. I mean, he was just playing the NBA Finals, and then he's coming and playing Summer League, and that's why he looks so dominant. 24 points on 10 of 18 shooting, a rebound, 6 assists, a steal, a 3. Just dominated this game. Not sure exactly how he fits into the rotation next year. I think that's the issue with OKC at this point, is that they can continue to draft well and draft these players that we like. But how do they fit into the rotation? I mean, the other guy we'll talk about here in a second, Nikola Topic, who do they prioritize? I mean, AJ Mitchell probably helps them win more so right now, but do they work on getting Topic more minutes because they believe he has higher upside? He's the guy they took in the first round. AJ Mitchell they took in the second round. Oh, but they also just drafted Thomas Sorber. How does he fit in? Obviously, it doesn't impact each other, but they had to trade Dylan Jones for second-round picks, and he was really good for stretches in Summer League for sure, and then a couple times in the NBA. I had to basically offload him because they had just too much talent. So it'll be interesting to see how AJ Mitchell fits in. I think he has the ability to maybe be a fantasy contributor if he was on a different team. Not really seeing it with OKC, and it's nothing against him. It's just they're a freaking stacked team, which is why they won the NBA Finals. Speaking of Topic, 14 points, a rebound, 4 assists, 2 steals, 2 threes, 7 turnovers. Obviously, 7 turnovers is not good, but it's his first time playing a official game in a Thunder uniform. Injured his knee before he was drafted ahead of the 2024 season. Spent all of last year rehabbing with the team, was around the team, got to experience a championship run, got to grow as a player. But I'm sure there were nerves. I'm sure it was, it was his first taste of NBA action, frankly. Like, yes, he's experienced practicing with NBA players, but I'm not too concerned. Just one game, again, just one. We'll say that about everyone. So it's a bunch of, the conclusion here is let's not freak out, but we're going to walk through it together so we can all try and not freak out together. Topic, I think, is going to be really good. Definitely had some flashes. Again, the 2 steals, was able to show some defensive instincts, got to the rim, hit some threes. He'll clean things up. He has time. He's not going to be in probably many high-pressure situations during his rookie year. The other guy, they drafted Brooks Barnhizer in the second round because Thomas Sorber didn't play. And he's Brooks Barnhizer is not really much of a shooter. He is or was a pretty good playmaker. Didn't get any assists in this game, but just like a high energy guy, a really strong physical player. 9 points, 13 rebounds, a steal, block, and a 3. Game 1. You go out there after getting drafted in the second round, you grab 13 rebounds in your first summer league game. Yeah, I think you're sending a little bit of a message of who you're going to be and what you're going to be ready to contribute to a team that just won a championship. Do I think that Brooks Barnhizer is part of the rotation as a rookie? No. Do I think that they're probably pretty happy they drafted him and he's a little bit of a tone setter per se, and is a guy that could be part of the rotation in a couple of years, maybe 2 years, assuming he sticks around, they're able to make that work. Maybe he's elsewhere. I think it's a good thing to see. Encouraged by it. Don't know how much that leads to something for us in fantasy basketball, but it's a good thing for him in his career to see that. The highlight of the first night was the Jazz 76ers game, which the Jazz won. Was a matchup between VJ Edgecombe and Ace Bailey. And even though Ace Bailey's team won, VJ Edgecombe was obviously able to have a much better game. 28 points, 10 rebounds, 4 assists, a steal, 2 blocks, a 3. Fantastic first performance. Does this mean that VJ Edgecombe is going to have a better career than Ace Bailey? No. Could still happen, but this is not an indicator of that. Not an indicator either way. But I think it was good. It was good to see. It was a very dominant performance. I'm interested to see if VJ Edgecombe is able to continue to just dominate Summer League like this, or if this was like just one really good game and then he slows down a little bit. But I think what makes this interesting is, like, maybe this performance means a little bit more to me than a typical Summer League performance is. One, this is the Salt Lake City Summer League. The game is in Utah. So this is a road game. There were fans there. They were supporting their team. And 2, we're going to go back talking about the 76ers, but I just want to show who was playing for the Jazz. A bunch of their rotation players. This was not the Warriors, who we didn't even spend any time really talking about any of them because not really seeing any of them being part of the rotation. This is, Isaiah Collier was a starting point guard for most of last season. Cody Williams and Bryce Sensabaugh, Kyle Filipowski all started at times. I'd imagine Ace Bailey is a starter this year. Walter Clayton Jr. just won a national championship and was a first-round pick. Jaden Springer, really, really solid defender. Like, this wasn't just a bunch of random, with respect, like random Summer League guys. This is a bunch of players that have guaranteed contracts for next season. Now, you could look at that as one of 2 ways. One, maybe some of the players that are trying to earn a contract are playing a little harder defense. And maybe since a lot of those guys have guaranteed contracts and are first round picks, and summer league only means so much to them, maybe that's a factor. Or you just still look at this as those are all NBA players that are also trying to prove that they belong in the NBA and prove that they should be starting next season. And VJ Edgecombe dominated. I don't know. I'm excited to see how he continues to play throughout this summer league. Justin Edwards just got a 3-year contract after going undrafted. I liked him early in my scouting process, then realized this was a result of me, like, I guess, deferring a little bit too much to what general like consensus was on a player. Watching, I was like, oh, I think he's good. And then a lot of people said, no, he's an undrafted or second round guy. And I was like, okay, let that impact my thinking. By the end of it, I'm not going to say, well, I always thought this, but just kind of put it on the back burner. And then I was like, oh, he was pretty good as a rookie. That was fun to see. So seeing him play in summer league, expecting him to play well, he had 13 points, 3 rebounds, an assist, a steal, a 3. Yeah, would like to see him be a little better, but good to see him playing, getting more experience. Janai Broom, 13 points, 5 rebounds, a steal, a block, 2 of 4 on threes. Wasn't a high-level three-point shooter in college, was better for Auburn over the last 3 seasons, specifically the last 2, but not a high volume or high percentage guy. Is that going to be something we see from him more consistently, where he is basically like a stretch? Because he's not a massive, massive big man. Like, he's 6'10", I believe. So if he's able to space the floor, adds an element to his game, helps him get minutes. Adem Bona, 16 points, 8 rebounds, an assist, a steal, a block, 8 fouls, because we can do that in summer league, so that's pretty cool, almost a triple-double. But he's a guy, I think, behind Joel Embiid, behind Andre Drummond, is going to have a chance to get center minutes, also competing with Janai Broom. So good to see him almost have a double-double. Jalen Hood-Schifino, trying to prove he belongs to the NBA. The 8 assists were good to see. I think he was – I liked him. So, again, I'm not going to – I know I said it a little bit with the Justin Edwards, like, oh, I actually like this guy, and then didn't actually back it up, or blah, blah, blah. Like, anyone can say that, but I'll also stand on and say I liked Jalen Hood-Schifino. Thought he was going to be good, like a good manipulator of pick-and-roll situations and able to run an offense, and well, he wasn't able to even stick around on a team. So on a 2-way, I believe still, I think that there's still something there, specifically as a playmaker. Not really holding out hope that he's going to be a really good or like a star player, but definitely a guy that can pass pretty well, 8 assists. We'll keep an eye on that, see how that continues, because if he does end up in a situation, whether it be with Philadelphia or a different team where he's able to play a lot of minutes, maybe we can rely on him for some fantasy production at some point, specifically with the assists. All right, with Utah, Ace Bailey didn't have a great shooting night, but I still think there was a good bit to like. The defense specifically had a pretty big block. I think he'll be able to make an impact on that end of the floor pretty quickly, assuming he's just bought in, rebounded pretty well, tied with Bryce Sensabaugh to lead the team in rebounding. Operated off the ball a good bit. Good to see. He's not a dominant shot creator. Like, he hits tough shots, but he's not a dominant shot creator. And he's not really creating a ton for other players. Only had 1 assist, but whatever, not his role. He's got Isaiah Collier on the team, Walter Clayton Jr. on the team, on this summer league team. Guys that are going to be the priority playmakers here. So not too concerned. Good to see him suit up for Utah. I mean, shortly after the draft, it seemed like that might not happen. Cody Williams played pretty well, which was good to see after I think it's fair to say, bad rookie year. Was always going to be a long-term project. I think we hoped for a little bit more hope or some more like glimpses into the future during his rookie year that we didn't get. Good to see him play well. 14, 5, 1, 1, 1, 2 threes. Pretty efficient shooting, not terrible. What would have been concerning is if he came out and played really poorly. I'm not expecting or like saying, oh, he's good now. Like he played well in a summer league game. But if he came out and really struggled in summer league, I'd probably be a little concerned. So still going to keep an eye on him because just one game. Once we get more games from him, we'll be able to draw a little bit more of a conclusion. Kyle Filipowski, really good on offense. Didn't do too much on defense other than block a shot. Got 5 fouls. Had 22 points, 6 rebounds, 2 assists, and a block, and 2 threes. Bryce Sensabaugh was also a high-level offensive player in this game. 19.7 rebounds and assists, 2 steals, 5 threes, 5 turnovers. So some good and some bad with both those guys, but definitely a lot to like from them offensively. Yeah, there was a stretch where Bryce Sensabaugh just couldn't be stopped. So excited to see how they fit into the rotation next year. Definitely still a lot to like from them long term, even though they're not perfect prospects. Isaiah Collier had that one insane pass ahead. Forgot who that was to. I think it was to Bryce Sensabaugh. Could be totally wrong. But he had 7, 5, 5, 6 fouls, 5 of 8 free throws, 1 of 7 from the floor. I think the issue with Isaiah Collier is that we know he can pass, and then he just really struggles to score. And I was hoping to see him score at a higher level in a summer league game than he did as a rookie. Give me a little bit of hope, but really struggled here. So hopefully we see that as the summer progresses. But the first game wasn't great. Walter Clayton Jr., 9 points, 3 rebounds, 6 assists, a block, 2 threes in his first summer league game. Definitely good to see him hit some shots, get some assists. Excited to see how he continues to play during his first summer league. Him and Isaiah Collier both played 25 minutes. They spent a little bit of time on the floor together. Yeah, definitely keeping an eye on them too. There's a lot to take away from this Utah team during summer league because unlike most teams, they have 7 players that could be part of the rotation next year, but probably 6. Probably not Jaden Springer, even though he only played 13 minutes in this game, didn't do too much. I think the other 6 are guys that could see legitimate playing time during their rookie year. So that was the Saturday games. Now we'll take a look at the Sunday games. Another subpar performance from Dalton Connect. Still hasn't hit a 3 during Summer League, which is yikes. Cole Swider had a big night once again. Summer League All-Star. Still not expecting him. Maybe he earns a roster spot, like a 2-way deal, but he should. He's able to earn one in the past, but not expecting much from a fantasy perspective. Bronny James didn't play in the first game, only played 10 minutes, but had that the highlight steal and dunk that's been going around. Also had 10 points, 2 rebounds, 2 threes. So again, only played 10 minutes, but looked pretty good. Don't think he's a star, but looked good in 10 minutes. Don't know if he'll be part of the rotation this season. Could eventually, I think, be at least a solid defender off the bench. Maybe turns it. I know Derek White was a player he wanted to model his game after when he was asked as a rookie. Would be awesome if he reaches those levels, but it's going to take time. But good to see. Darius Baisley, 16 points, 9 rebounds, 3 more blocks, 5 turnovers, 1 3, 7 of 10 at the free throw line. Again, he keeps playing like this. He is a player that should be dominating Summer League. Hopefully it's a reminder and enough for him to get a contract with an NBA team. Trey Jemison still didn't do too much. DJ Stewart and Sir'Jabari Rice both scored in double figures. That was good to see. But really, it's the main thing here. Brian James looked good. Dalton Connect. Need to see more. He did give some defensive stats again. 2 steals and a block and to go with 3 rebounds and 2 assists. But I'm expecting dominant scoring performances from Dalton Connect in Summer League. It's not happening. I'm disappointed. As far as the Heat, Khalil Ware, 12 points, 3 rebounds, 1 block, 1 3, shot 4 threes again, so that was good. But not as dominant of a performance. Would expect a little bit more from him. Some of the other guys that played in their last game didn't play in the second one, like Pell Larson, Kashad Johnson. Kasaparas Jakucioinis did. 4 points, 1 rebound, 2 assists, 3 steals, 5 turnovers, 0 of 3 shooting, all threes, 4-4 from the free throw line. Yikes! It's been a pretty bad start for Jakucioinis to start his summer league career. It's not a good look for, like, again, we're not panicking here, but for him to have slid down the draft to 20, okay, like, why did that happen? Why is everyone else avoiding him? And then he comes out in summer league and struggles a little bit. Oh, okay, like maybe, I don't know. Let me keep an eye on this. That's all I'm gonna say. Let me keep an eye on this. Hopefully maybe he gets to Vegas and plays a little better there. But right now, definitely a player to keep an eye on. And, these type of growing pains, in a way, are a good thing. Let's get the issues out of the way so that maybe he plays a little better in Vegas and then can be more ready to play during year one for the Heat. So we'll keep an eye on it. The second game from Sunday was the Spurs beating the Warriors. David Jones-Garcia again, monster scoring night. They didn't have Carter Bryant play in the back-to-back, and Dylan Harper still didn't play. So we had Harrison Ingram play 14 minutes, not too much to draw here. Jameer Nelson scored in double figures again. Dexter Dennis and Amari Moore did as well. And then as far as the Warriors, Will Richard played, which was good to see him suit up. We still didn't have Alex Tui play. We did have Will Richard, 16 points, 4 rebounds, 1 assist, 2 steals, 2 threes. Don't know how he fits into the rotation as a rookie. Probably doesn't for this Warriors team, but that's one of the guys they drafted. So good to see him have a good performance. And then Isaiah Mobley, LJ Cryer, and Javier Francis all scored in double figures as well. So let's see. Tonight's games are the Thunder playing the 76ers. So that'll be AJ Mitchell and Nikola Topic against VJ Edgecombe. And then we'll have the Grizzlies against the Jazz. So that's Jalen Wells and J.J. Jackson against everybody in Utah, including Ace Bailey. So yeah, that's the first 2 days of Summer League games. Tomorrow we'll have Matt Lawson on. We'll talk about some of the movement from free agency and how that's going to impact your dynasty leagues and really just rotations for next season, where we can find minutes for certain players to maybe have really productive seasons. And then we'll probably recap Mondays and Tuesdays Summer League games on Wednesday. And then, then it'll be Vegas Summer League time. So it'll be really exciting. To keep tuning in here. I'm going to try and get as much content out as possible while I'm there. That's going to do it for this episode. You can find me on Twitter at NoRuben22. You can like, comment, subscribe. If there's anyone in particular that you have as your sleeper that you really want me to keep an eye on during Summer League, let me know. I will do my best to keep an eye on them and try and post content with them. I'm going to try and be more active on Twitter while I'm there, posting videos and thoughts. So if there's anyone I should keep an eye on, definitely let me know. But that's going to do it for this episode, and I will see you guys next time.